let me know so that we can get acquainted. Thank you very much. Once again, I would like to welcome everybody here. And our topic for today is achieving the full benefits of being a member of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. Why did you decide to be a surveyor in the first place? Why did you decide to join the institution today? Do you think you had help from someone to be a surveyor, or you were forced to become a surveyor, or you were forced to join the institution, or you had a role model in the survey industry and you decided that, oh, no, I want to go with my role model? Aside your background story, once you are here, we want to know why. What am I getting from being a surveyor? What am I getting from being in this institution? So if you are as clueless as I am, then you are the safe place. You are going to get the answers, all the answers today. I'm sure you've seen all the flyers going around, and we have excellent resource persons. The gender equality is on point. And so even if you're a male, you're a female, you're going to get all the answers that you need. I would I'll start. I would like to introduce our resource persons for the day. Thank you so much. Hello? Thank you so much. Our resource persons for today, I'm going to start with Surveyor Reverend Mrs. Rose Margaret Esubonting. Surveyor Reverend Mrs. Rose Margaret Esubonting was sworn in as the 50th president of the institution. She's from the Quantity Surveying Division, and she was the 50th first female president of the Quantity Surveying Division. She is a proud old girl student of Wesley Girls. Do we have some Wesley Girls old students in the building? Can I see? Yeah. Oh, wow. We have a lot. Do we have Wesley Girls old students online? Can we get a wave? Oh, I know they are there. I know they are there. Oh, we don't have anyone. Okay. If it's not Wesley Girls, then I'm sure they are from the others. Okay. So we are Reverend Rose Margaret Esubonting is she works with Jane Ampofo and Partners, and it's a technical service center of the Ministry of Works and Housing in Accra. She is a fellow of the institution, and she served on various committees in the institution as well as the governing council. She's she has a lot of values, and one of them that I really like is her personal relationship with God and her personal relationship with young surveyors in the institution. Can we give it up for our first resource person of the day, Surveyor Reverend Mrs. Margaret Esubonting? Oh, we can do better. Can I see some waves online? A hand wave online. Thank you. So I'm going to do this. Okay. Thank you, Mommy. So I'm going to do this. We are saying we are following SDG goals. So gender equality. Our second resource person for today is Surveyor Edwin Adoteria. He is a past president of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. He's a former director of Survey and Mapping Division of the Lands Commission. He's now the licensed surveyor. He's also a licensed surveyor, Surveyor Edwin Adoteria. And he's having his own firm, a professional private practice here in Accra. Let's give it up for Surveyor Edwin Adoteria. Thank you. Our next resource person for today is in the person of Surveyor Dr. Mrs. Matilda Viajidbe. She was the first, very, very first female president of the institution and the first female president also from VS. She was also, there's a lot of first administrator of the two lands, first female administrator of the two lands. Though she's a retiree,
One question.
she's still a managing consultant of a firm ADF Real Estate Valuation and Consultancy. She was the 23rd president of the institution. Let's give it up for Surveyor Daughter Mrs. Matilda Fiajidbe. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Our last resource person for today is in the person of Surveyor Alaji Daud Suleimana Mahama. He is a fellow of the institution and he was elevated to a fellow in 1999. He was the 51st president of the institution. He's also served on several committees of the governing council and divisional committee. He's also he was the chairman of the valuation and estate surveying division from 2016. He also was a vice president of the institution. During his tenure, I realized that there was a lot of engagement with the student society. There was a lot of trips to institution. There was a lot of, I wouldn't say entertainment, there's a lot of embodiment when it comes to young surveyors and then fellow surveyors, not old surveyors. And I really like that passion too when it comes to engagement. So today, our last resource person for today is Surveyor Alaji Daud Suleimana Mahama. Give it up for him as he takes his seat. Thank you very much. I would like us to give them another clap as they have seated. Yes, a good big round of applause. I really wanted to sound. Online participants, can we hear hello from you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. We are so glad we could have you here today. So,
Hello.
without much ado,
Hello.
Hello.
thank you, online participants. Without much ado, yes. So, we are going to delve into our topic for today. We are happy to have you here, our resource persons. and we couldn't have anyone else without calling you. We also want to say thank you for being at our doorstep. We are always at your doorstep, and you are always giving us the ear and the time of the day to be with us. So each resource person has 15 minutes to talk about their topic, and we'll put all the discussions together. So after every resource person, the next resource person can take it up, and then when we are done, we can have questions and discussions. That's okay with you. Thank you. So we'll have Sophia Dr. Mrs. Matilda starting. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, colleagues surveyors. It's my pleasure to be invited to share a few thoughts on the topic, achieving the full benefits of being a member of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. And I've been given two sub-themes, two sub-theme areas. One, career advancements and recognition, and two, mentorship and support systems. Now, the topic, achieving the full benefits of being a member of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, is an interesting one and at the same time loaded. Now, why do I say it is loaded? Before we proceed to the main sub-theme areas, I want us to look at one or two definitions. If you say benefits, what are you referring to? I looked up at what the meaning of benefit is from a dictionary. It is an advantage that something gives you, or a helpful and useful effect that something has. So, we are looking at the advantages that the Ghana Institution of Surveyors gives us. I must say, however, that benefits do not stand alone. Benefits go with responsibilities. There is cost to every benefit. There is a cost to every benefit. So we can't just run away with benefits without at least looking briefly at what are we responsible for? What are we supposed to do before we start reaping the benefits? That is the first definition. The second definition I want us to look at is the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. Isn't that interesting? Now, we all know what the Ghana Institution of Surveyors stands for. A family with a number of so many members. That is we, the members. The Ghana Institution of Surveyors is our professional parents. And as a parent, the GHSS has
Kufuma yana. Mengo espécie. Enquanto tudo bem. É crap. Como esse. Se quiser,
Someone.
não onde estava. Mas não estava. Não. Oh yes, I just found on my. Now that's you want me to so. Okay. Hi.
So that's tight. So it has that career identity. So these
Ana wuni ba zai tiya zuma ofu ya karara za ya. Mefa butu ne hwɛ. Amra si anya sa. Nse butu.
I want the benefit was a
Hello, everyone. Please, they are trying to work on the sound, but I'll entreat all those who have their mics on to mute them. Thank you.
And after that, our Nigerian colleagues came around and they were very happy. They congratulated me. And from that time, we kept in touch. One of them happened to be our now Council President, Surveyor James Ajale Koko. I met him that year in Zimbabwe. So, so it gives that, if you are not a member of the institution, you don't have such opportunities. So, to advance your career. So that is another way to give you the opportunity to present papers. You may have brilliant ideas, you present them for others to benefit from it. And through that, you are recognized, you are acknowledged, and you advance your career. Then also, another way that the institution is advancing our career is that the institution has provided us with professional and ethical standards. That is summarized in our motto, service with integrity. And you see, that is the service, our motto, service with integrity, is simple but really loaded. Because you never know who is watching you. So wherever you are, my principle is wherever you are, do your work very well, as if somebody is watching you. Because you never know who is watching you. And maybe through that, some door will open for you, and that will advance your career. So provide service, whatever you are doing, provide it with integrity. And then, again, the institution provides us with the opportunity for recognition when you are elevated to the class of fellow. So that is, if you want to be recognized, you have been doing your work excellently over the years, then you apply to the institution and you are recognized as a fellow, and that puts you at a very high level in your career. So the institution provides you with that as well. Now let's look briefly at the mentorship and support systems that the institution provides. Well, it connects us to people, helpful people, and resources. Sometimes you don't know who is who. But when you attend certain conferences or meetings or whatever, you meet senior colleagues, you meet others who may be prepared to help you, who may be willing and available to support you whatever you are doing, so that you progress faster in your career. I met a young man like that some few years ago. I didn't know him anywhere. Had it not been for the institution, we met at one of the seminars. Then he was then preparing to take his exams to become a member, to be elected as a member of the institution. From that time to date, we have been in very close contact. And, anytime I call on him, he is willing to come over. We discuss our issues, professional issues, whatever. And, we are all benefiting from that relationship. So the institution provides that opportunity for mentorship. I'm sure there are a number of people, members who are willing, senior members who are available and willing to provide that mentorship facility. There may be another area where we can support ourselves, or to benefit from the support system is as members, maybe we have social events. We support each other through social events. You are celebrating your birthday. You want members to come around and support. They will come and give you moral support, and they will make that day more meaningful to you than if you just have family and some few friends. And also, when you are bereaved, members come around to support. So that is also, we are evolving, or that is support system too has evolved over the years, so that you are not alone. You belong to a big family, and family members come over to support you, whether it is in time of joy or in a time of sadness. And also, sometimes, in addition to that, financial support. And there may be other hidden support systems that we can explore. It's not exhaustive. We can explore many other support systems. So, by way of conclusion, I will say that while we enjoy the benefits as members of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors, whilst we enjoy the benefits from our professional parents, we should also be mindful of our responsibilities as members, so that it is a two-way affair, so that we can all benefit. Because you cannot reap where you have not sown. And benefits come with responsibilities. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mrs. Fiajidbe. I think we've taken a lot from this. And from what I realized, she spoke much about career advancement and recognition, and she touched on mentorship. So now we'll have Surveyor Edwin Adoteria as our second resource person to educate us today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I've been very fortunate to speak after my mentor and senior past president, Surveyor Matilda, Dr. Fiajidbe. I have been asked to focus on what the institution gives to its members in the areas of visibility, advocacy, and representation, and also tie into ethical standards and professional conduct. This is what I've been asked to do. My presentation will have this outline. Introduction, I'll talk on visibility, advocacy, representation, ethical standards, professional conduct, and then conclude. In all this, I'll be telling you what the institution has been doing, is doing, and will continue to do. Introduction. The membership of our professional institution offers many benefits. ranging from personal development to broader impact of all of us. You personally gain something, and as a group, we also gain something. These benefits can be maximized through the professional body's focus on visibility and our professional group and professional integrity is enhanced. Visibility. The institution has been providing a crucial role in making sure that we are visible in the eyes of the people of Ghana. And also, we make sure that the institution is promoted and protected through our visibility in the country. I think Madam talked about some of the pillars of what we do to become visible. Commissions and other government agencies who regulate our profession. In the case of the VS and the LS, we can cite an example of the Lands Commission. Also VES, KOS, we cite an example of AESL and the PWD. The Minister for Works and Housing regulates the KOS and some aspects of the LS work, and the Minister for Lands and Forestry regulates the aspects of the VES and the LS work that we provide. And the institution always makes sure that they meet with them, exchange ideas in any legislation which will come out. We do that through our executives and our members who work in those various institutions. And by doing so, certain policies come out and you benefit directly or indirectly. In addition, on various issues on government, our institution take a stand. If it is about free education, fuel, we always do press conferences beginning our AGM and we always touch on national issues. We also make sure that what we do, both the services that we provide and other activities that we undertake, we sell them out to the general public. In this case, our population to Ghana, 30 million, and the members of our institution, we are roughly getting to 3,000. Paid up will be about 2,000. If you divide 2,000 by 30 million, you can find the ratio of a member of our institution to the population of Ghana. We are not many. And for that matter, if we don't talk about ourselves and the services that we provide, other people will step in, those we call quacks. So the institution takes upon itself to do all this on your behalf, directly and indirectly. Representation. The institution, by the Constitution, aspects of the Constitution and other legislations, are represented on many boards and corporations of this country. We have the procurement board, whereby all the boards that we have in Ghana, in the enacting the Procurement Board Act, it stated that any board that you set up, it should have a member of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors serving on it. From the national entity board to any regional district board, we are there. We have the Lands Commission, which we serve on the national and the regional boards. We have the valuation board, we serve on it, and other judicial, we represent most of us at the court, especially the LS division, and certain interpretations that the valuers do in case of valuation. Our members are the only accepted people to do that on behalf of the government. And so, you becoming a member, you gain directly or indirectly about the services that we do. We also have other representations on the academic boards of the universities that we attend. We also evaluate syllables for most of the courses that they render in our areas in the tertiary universities. The accreditation board, now they have a new name. We serve on all of them and we are recognized. We do all this and you benefit directly or indirectly. Now let's come to our ethical standards and professional conduct. You cannot come together as professionals without regulating yourselves. So we make sure that the country accepts us as a body who regulates surveying in Ghana, all the three disciplines that we have. In doing so, we have to come out with some standards, first to regulate ourselves, and then regulate our relationship with our employers, and also regulate our relationship with our clients. If a member does anything wrong, the institution will have a way to discipline the member. If somebody who has employed a member is also not going by the contracts as agreed, the institutions come in to facilitate that there will be peace and order. And so it's with our clients, timely delivery of whatever agreement we have, services we are providing, and making sure that we come out of acceptable cost, which we make sure that our members and firms work within that with a certain parameters. You don't go too far or low within the acceptable scale of fees by the institution. We do all this and then you benefit directly or indirectly. We also issue disciplinary measures in our code of ethics and some of the ethical standards that we have. We have integrity as mentioned by Dr. P.P. Fiachigwe. We focus on honesty, fairness, and even how you use your own money. We don't want you to go bankrupt as a member of the institution. We regulate all this, and we have published a book. If you become a member, you study our constitution, you go through our code of ethics. You don't need to damage a brother or a sister in the profession before you take over his or her work. We collaborate, we exist as one big family. And these we provide to ensure that we coexist peacefully and make sure that our relevance is felt within the country we are and also across. Madam has talked about our international relationships with FIG, Castle, and ISEC. In all these relationships with our international bodies, we have been identified as one of their main and major stakeholders, culminating in the institution hosting 2 international conferences, You bid as you bid for the World Cup. So the Institution of Surveyors hosted the FIG this year in Ghana, and in October, we are hosting the International Cost Engineering Council. That's the equivalent of the FIG in the Quantity Surveying Division here. And this shows that our relevance is not only limited to the borders of Ghana, but across globally. In doing so too, like Madam said, we have networking, innovation, state of the art of our profession. We make sure that whatever you learn in school, you are continuous learning. You keep on learning new things which come up, and for that, by doing that, you become relevant in wherever you are. So, to ask of the benefits, it cannot be overemphasized. If you are a member, what is important is that the I factor goes. Whatever you do becomes all of us. Madam said, when you are having your weddings, when you are naming your child, when you are having funerals and everything, what is important is that when you do good, it affects all of us. But when you do equally bad, the press will not say adulteria. They will say a member of the Institution of Surveyors has duped somebody. That's what I mean by the I factor. So once you join us, particularly don't say you join us for your promotion at your workplace. I just want to become a member. You cannot join us and go. It's food that you taste and it's forever until you die. I want to wish you all well, and I thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you so much, PP Aditeria. So, the I factor. The I factor. It's amazing how when I heard the I factor, I was about writing, and I nearly put VY because my name is Ivy. So I think it makes sense because the I factor, you put your name there, the Ivy factor. You put your name there, the Beaches factor, the Cecilia factor, so that you know that whatever you are doing is projecting the institution out there, whether good or bad, it's still the institution. Thank you so much, VP Aditeria. And at this juncture, I would like to invite Surveyor Surveyor Reverend Mrs. Rose Margaret Esubontain, the Wesley girls. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and special thanks to the leadership of WINS for inviting me to be part of this panel. It's a pleasure to be here, and I hope that at the end of my 15 minutes, you have a few points to grow your network. I'm talking about networking and collaboration opportunities. Networking and collaboration opportunities. So I want us to look at networking this way. Networking is developing a mutually beneficial relationship. What is it? Developing a mutually beneficial relationship. It's not a one-sided relationship. When you network with people, you are connecting with people of similar interests. Now, these interests can be professional interests, business interests, it could be social interests. But the thing is that it's between two or more people, and it's supposed to be what? Mutually beneficial. You must always remember that part. There are some people who try to just get into a meeting or get to meet people, take their contact. When they need something, they just call you, can you help me do this? And that's the end. And when you call them, they won't answer. That's not networking. That's being what? That's being what? Selfish. Yeah, but you're not looking for selfish people, to grow selfish people here. We're looking at growing beneficial relationships that are mutually advantageous to all parties involved. Is that okay? Okay, so you got the first point there. Now, you would ask that, in what form does it take? It can take different forms. Many times networking is informal, okay? But then you can leverage events, okay? So you've come for this meeting. For those of us who are in the secretariat, we are in person. You can decide, actually, you could have decided before you came here that by the end of the meeting, by the time I leave this place, I would have talked to 3 people, and you will have a certain direction you want to talk to them about, what interests you, what you can learn from them, what you can also share. So maybe the first thing is you want to talk to a certain number of people. Make the effort. You have to be intentional when it comes to networking. It doesn't just happen by chance, okay? It doesn't just happen. You have to be intentional. And then you have to be strategic. So so every meeting, decide what you are going to get out of that network contact. The contact you make with the 3 people or the 2 people, or sometimes just the 1 person you talk to. Some of you will say that, okay, I'm shy, so I can't really talk to people. There are many ways around for shy people. Go with a friend, okay? Somebody you're comfortable with. But on the other end, there are the people who are, they just love to connect with people. They are like second nature for them. So even though you may be shy, sometimes you'll be standing around a cocktail table all by yourself. Somebody will come to you and talk to you. Have you got that? So we can all actually get benefits out of networking with people. So I've given you a few tips on how you can do it, even though it may not come naturally with you, but like I said, it has to be intentional. So then you make a conscious effort. Every event, you can leverage on it. So there are different types of events. There are the purely professional events, like you've gone for a conference, you've gone for a workshop or a seminar. You meet more likely professional people. So then you know that in that environment, there's a professional interest that you will get and the professional benefit you will get. So talk to people. In talking to people, you can actually find out what is happening in the industry. Sometimes things are happening in certain sectors that you are not aware of, but you will get to know, and then certain opportunities are available. Maybe people are looking at a conference coming up, there's sponsorship, and probably if you have to pay for yourself, probably like 1,000 Ghana cedis or $1,000, depending on what the training is about. But when you hear about the sponsorship, you can apply and you can be sponsored and you can get the benefit of that training program, okay? And then people also get to know people. You get to know about job openings. If you are looking to change jobs or you're actually looking for a job, you don't have a job and you're looking for a job, somebody could put a word in for you. Sometimes too, when you've actually built that connection with another person, you can ask people you think know people in an organization that could help you get a job to put in a word for you, and that really helps. Somebody gave his personal account. It was at one of these GHIS workshops we had attended, and he said it was his first time he attended a workshop. It was then held at the British Council, and there were some foreign companies there, and incidentally, they were looking for a quant surveyor to employ. They talked to him, they realized that he was a good candidate, and he got employed into an international company. You understand? If he just sat in a corner, he would have missed this chance. You get it? So learn how to just talk to people. Simple conversation. It's not an exam. Nobody's marking you. So don't be afraid. Is that all right? Nobody's marking you. You're just trying to be natural, be yourself. And like I said, we can't talk to people alone. Just pull your friend, the one who makes you comfortable, next to you, and then you'll be talking. And before you realize, some good benefit will come to you. But then also, what you can do, both past President Dr. Mrs. Fiajigbe and past President Adote, you have mentioned about talking at conferences. You can actually be a resource person. You'll be amazed that you know something a lot of us don't know. Come and share that thing. Sometimes it's just a product you know. Just come and explain how a product works, okay? And people will find it interesting and intriguing and say, wow, that's a clever lady or a clever gentleman. Let's get to talk to him more or her more, and then something can grow out of that. So as you also share, like I said, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. So You can also give of what you know and what you have. Out of that, you'll be seen, and then you can be called to do other things, and bigger doors can also open up for you. Is that all right? So there are also the non-industry related events. Like, I'd gone for a family wedding. For me, it was a Saturday. I was enjoying, I'm off all this busy work life, weekend, at the family reception, at the wedding. Then a gentleman walks to me and he says, "Oh, madam, I'm actually a member of GHIS." And he was the MC. He was MCing, you know, it was a side hustle. And so during he had a few minutes of a break from MC, and he came to me and said, yes, he was in GHIS, and we chatted a bit. And I said, you know, you can use that non-professional industry event to actually get to know people, because sometimes people you need actually in life are not only in your profession, okay? You need people outside of your profession. And so you can speak to people so he saw me because at the time I was president. And so, you know, when you are president, many more people can make you out than when you are just sitting here. So many people don't see you. So if you actually did present a paper somewhere or do something publicly somewhere, you'll be known, and then somebody can approach you, or you can also approach somebody. You get it? So the social events, don't underestimate what they can also get out of it. Is that right? So target your non-industry events. Those also help. So you ask, as I've said all these things, what can my being a member of GHIS be of benefit by way of networking? Every GHIS event is a networking opportunity. Do you agree with me? Yes. Do I need to explain? Let me give you every event, different people come together to do something. So every event, you will meet new people. Even the old people you will meet, it's not everybody you've actually talked to in a way that you know something about them, what they do and and you see, everybody also has a network. So if we take, there are 2, 4, 6 of you here. The 6 of you here have a network. Your network can overlap the other, but actually sometimes your network doesn't overlap anybody's network. So then as you interact, you get a wider network for yourself. And that person also gets a wider network. So let us make use of every GHIS event you attend. Is that okay? And like I said, before you come to the event, or as the event is going on, tell yourself, by the end of it, by the time I'm leaving, I would have talked to so many people, I would have shared this about what I know or what I do, okay? So maybe beyond doing valuation or doing land surveying, you actually do catering. I'm looking at somebody smiling to me, and smiling at me, and you do catering, but you can say that, oh, you actually love baking, or you love cooking. I really love cooking. And you can cook for events. Out of that, when they want to have a small event, a big event, you have the capacity, they can talk to you, and you get something else going on. You understand? And so it grows what you can actually do, even outside your profession. Is that okay? So every GHIS event is an opportunity for networking. If we take networking now, linking it to collaboration. Collaboration is 2 or more people doing something together. There have been many cases in the GHIS family, and I like the way Mrs. Fajidbe put it. It's the family we have, the GHIS family. There have been many cases where people have done projects together, they've done jobs together. So apart from, and people have actually built lifelong relationships. People have known, like Mrs. Fajidbe gave her own example, somebody she met in 1995. They are still in contact, and they can speak to each other, help each other on different projects and social things. Lifelong relationships. So open your mind, open your horizon, and go out and reach people and be pleasant. Is that okay? People love pleasant people. Don't you love pleasant people? Yes, so people love pleasant people. Determine that you will be pleasant, and then other people, it will be easy for them to be pleasant towards you. So with the GHIS, actually, if you go to our website, at the home page, at the bottom of it, we've got a list of all the professional bodies we are affiliated with. Examples are the RICS, that's the Royal Institution of Chartered Surveyors, the AAQS, African Association of Quantity Surveyors, ISEC has just been mentioned, FIG has also been mentioned, there's AFRES, that's Africa Real Estate Society, and there are many others. Go to the website, you just click the link, it will take you to their website, and you can learn more about them. And then don't limit yourself to only GHIS events for networking. Like I said, widen your horizon, and your network actually includes your schoolmates, and it can be schoolmates from primary school. I know for certain schools, secondary school schoolmates is really strong, okay? Those school groups are very strong at primary school level, but you can actually have strong at secondary school level, but at primary school level, you can actually have great people in that network, okay? So don't limit yourself. Just open your mind and your opportunities by reaching out to all kinds of people you know. So I would like to conclude and encourage you to know that the benefits are enormous. I've enumerated a number of them. And so networking collaboration can come out of your membership of GHIS. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Surveyor Subonte. So one thing I want to elaborate on is networking. Even today's event is a networking event. So as you are here, I don't know if you have spoken to a new person. I haven't spoken to I have spoken to a new person today. I made a new friend. She's called Cecilia. Yes, it's a networking event for me. So find that two person, find a third person, and talk to the person and make a network. And work with your CV. Let's all have a workable CV. So for me, I also want to say, I'm good with organization and collaboration. I can put parties together and events together. It's my working CV. Thank you so much. At this juncture, we have our last speaker for today. I don't know about you, but I'm learning so much already. I know I'm a member of the institution, and I've benefited from the institution, but I look forward to so much more from the first three speakers. I can't imagine what I'm going to gain after Surveyor Alhaji Daud Suleiman Mahama speaks. So let's welcome him to the platform.
I have been in Accra for practically 3/4 of my life. And after being disadvantaged by being the last speaker, I will just speak the only gun I can remember. Minimake. What else am I going to say? But I think on a more serious note, I think that all of us, let us give it up to Mrs. Fiajigwe. She was my first mentor. When I came out of school in 1984, together with Surveyor Justice Mrs. City, Mrs. Josephine Bampo, and what's his name? I have forgotten the name now. The four of us were put together and under her tutelage. What we have become today is a testimony to the quality of mentoring and leadership that she has provided. And I'm eternally grateful to her. I have been asked to speak to you about professional development and continuing education, then to access to industry resources and tools. But like I said, from all the three speakers, they've said it all. So mine is just going to be a repetition of some of the things that they have said. but I will try as much as possible to also relate it to my personal growth. Because the essence of talking to you as ladies of the profession and as also other male colleagues who have joined is the fact that there is so much for us to gain from our unity in the institution. And it is important for us to realize who we are. Quite a lot of times, we don't seem to know who we are. And I think that we have a very great organization. We are so much respected. And I saw a lot of evidence of this last week at La Palm, when from Europe, from the Caribbean, and from the other African countries, they were just amazed with how we were able to put it together. And I think that this strength comes out of us learning from each other within the institution. But if I have to talk about professional development, I will just start it with trying to understand what is a profession. And to aid me, I went back to the 2003 definition that has been given by the Australian Council of Professions. And what it says is this: a profession is a disciplined, please note, a profession is a disciplined group of individuals who adhere to ethical standards and who hold themselves out and accepted by the public as possessing special knowledge and skills in a widely recognized body of learning derived from what? Research, education, and training at a high level, and who are prepared to this knowledge and exercise these skills in the interest of others. Let us bear in mind, this places a very huge responsibility on us. As a profession, we are supposed to be a disciplined group of individuals. We adhere to ethical standards, and we hold ourselves out, and we are accepted by the public as possessing special knowledge and skills in a widely recognized body of learning derived from research, education, and training, not at a low level, but at a high level, and who have prepared to this knowledge and exercise these skills in the interest of others. Let us bear that in mind. So whatever we are as professionals, we are not doing it solely for ourselves. We are there in the interest of the society in which we serve. It goes further to explain that it is inherent in the definition of a profession that a code of ethics governs activities of each profession. Such codes require behavior and practice beyond the personal moral obligations of an individual. They define and demand high standards of behavior in respect to the services provided to the public and in dealing with professional colleagues. So you cannot be a substandard professional. You cannot be a substandard land surveyor, a substandard valuer, a substandard quantity surveyor. No. It has taken us time to learn to that high level and be there. And therefore, if we are practicing, we have to extend the moral obligations that we have to society and make sure that the code of ethics that we practice is also to the highest level. The codes, as President Alditeria has mentioned, are enforced by the profession and acknowledged. And it is actually generally accepted by the community. So a professional is seen as an indicator of what integrity, ethics, trust, and expertise. Integrity, ethics, trust, and expertise. Everybody you deal with must be able to close his eyes and say, this is a surveyor. I trust what the surveyor has told me. You don't shortchange your clients. You don't lie to your colleagues. So this is the standard that we have given ourselves. There are other ordinary dictionary definitions of a profession. It is any type of work that needs special training or a particular skill that is respected because it involves a high level of education. So all these high level of training is manifest. It says that a professional job is a career that requires a specific amount of advanced training and education. It is mostly these jobs require some level of post-secondary education. And when they call a professional, what they say is that he is an individual or she is an individual who earns money by performing a specialized task or activity. A professional requires competence and extensive industry knowledge. So it means when you are a professional surveyor, you go beyond the realms of just being ordinary to the level that is so high that people can close their eyes and trust your judgment. So if this is the surveyor who has to be developed, what do we need? What do we understand by professional development? And the Harvard University in 2022 described professional development as this: it is gaining new skills through continuing education and career training after entering the workforce. It can include taking classes or workshops, attending professional or industry conferences, or earning a certificate to expand your knowledge in your chosen field. A lot of us, when the night of the dinner, the annual dinner, and you are handed over your certificate, and then you pass, that is all. You brag and say, I'm a member of the institution, and therefore you forget about any self-development. I have seen valuations and reports that are written, and I cringe, because this is supposed to be on the same level as me. I cringe just because of the low and poor quality, because such a person just wants the certificates. He is not the person who is imbued with that sense of morality, that sense of ethics, that sense that you are serving society. As Madam Reverend Iswati said, you should not be selfish. You will only be selfish if you get the initial entry into the profession and then you go to sleep. Professional development is important because it can make you a better employee. It provides you with more opportunities for career advancement. It improves your skill sets and knowledge. Definitely, when I am interviewing in our office, and I can see from the same set of questions, the way different people answer their questions, it just tells me that this one is not serious, that one is serious. When I'm going to promote, I'm likely to promote that one than the other one. I have been in an interview panel before when the gentleman just came and the first thing he did was to cross his legs. And one of the panelists asked him, what is your career objectives within the next 5 years? I'm thinking of going into business. So I don't know how to roll my eyes, but the whole panel, everybody just started looking at each other like that. Unfortunately, we had to employ him. Why? There was a big keen on us over that character. Luckily for us, he himself just found it too boring because what he was expecting from being in public service didn't materialize after 1 year, so he himself packed himself out. Professional development is important because it benefits, its benefits includes self-confidence. When you know it, you can push your chest high. You are more comfortable in whatever you are saying or doing. It enhances your hiring potential, and it develops both your hard and soft skills and increases job opportunities for you, because everywhere you go, once people can identify you that, look, this chap is competent, you are taking. It helps you gain mentors and expands the networking opportunities that you get. And a lot of the times, as the three panelists have already said, the seminars, the webinars, the conferences, workshops, volunteer events, or ordinary social events like weddings and religious gatherings, you get to get quite a lot of you get to show what you are made of. I will move quickly to look at how do you improve professional development. If you take about surveying profession, even within just where I am comfortable, I'm a VES, so where I'm comfortable, take VES alone. Look at the range of specializations that it provides you, apart from basic valuation. What about feasibility and viability appraisals? Different forms of investment appraisals, agricultural valuations, industrial valuations, residential valuations. Are you going to be a jack of all trade and nip at each, or you want to specialize in a particular area? And we had a few years ago a young man who at the age of 36 was catapulted to become the managing director of Barclays Bank, Ghana, Dabra. He did land economy and went into risk management, which is an aspect of the feasibility and viability appraisals that we do in the university. He took it up and he became so good at risk management in the bank that within a very short time, at the age of 36, quite unheard of in our environment, he was a managing director of a big conglomerate like Barclays Bank, where he served creditably for I think 4 or 5 years before he moved on. So it gives you a very broad broad base. What you have to do then is you need to actually, it's my time, 2 minutes, yeah, mean to me. Okay, then I'll have to rush. So it will mean that for you to improve this, you have to create a personal development framework. You should know the range of work that is available within your profession and target where you want to be. So you create a schedule of goals. I want to move from year 1 to year 3 in this area. I want to from year 4, year 5, I want to be here, and that sort of thing. You must also make it a point to be attending training programs. Taking new responsibilities. Maybe you have been given a particular schedule in their office, but you can see that some of your colleagues are doing something different. So to widen your scope of the same profession that you are, you may want to, from time to time, shift into other areas and learn how it is done. It is not that going to undermine a person to say that I'm taking over your responsibility, but at least approach and say, oh, I've done this for 1 year or so. I know all the nuances of it. Say, that is talking to your supervisor, can I also do this for another period of time? You have to continue your education. Every time you must be reading. You must also be shadowing some of your colleagues and your managers, because you see some people doing works in one way or the other that are admirable. So you want to learn from them. Don't envy them. Maybe they have a certain knack for doing it. What you need to do is to do And as Madam said, try as much as possible to speak at conferences, seminars, and events. Because in even preparing for this, you learn a lot than what you will come to do. So applying the self-development techniques, I have this thing that I call ANCLLL. And that is for, first of all, you have to anticipate. What is it that you want to become? And because I'm speaking to Waynes, I am particularly conscious, and especially because of a very young woman. Your biology is different. And therefore, when you start the race with us, the men, we always take the lead because you have to break at certain times to produce babies. I mean, it's a natural fact, it's a natural responsibility you have. When you go home in the evening and I'm reading newspaper or a professional magazine to enjoy myself, if you are my wife, you will still be frying tomatoes and eggs in the kitchen. The best I can do now in cooking is how to cook an egg. That one I can do. But apart from that, nothing else. So you need to anticipate all the circumstances that surround you as a professional. And when having done that, then navigate in between the different options that are available to you that will help you grow. In doing this, you have to be open and communicate comfortably with people to know that, look, I have this challenge here. How do I do this? I have this idea. Well, what do you think of it? And that sort of thing, and get. But a lot of times, we talk without listening. Listen. Listen. And when you are listening, usually what do? You are quiet. You cannot be listening and be talking at the same time. Whilst you are listening, you are learning. And it doesn't matter who you learn from. In my case, for example, when I joined the Lands Commission formally in 1986, the lady, Mrs. Atajemfi, was the one who taught me. She was then a secretary. What do you call it? Stenographer secretary. She taught me how to write office memos. But I was far, far, far ahead of her. But I didn't know how to write an office memo. I didn't know how to files, how to handle files in the office. She, as a secretary, taught me. So they are coming to sack you, so I'm going. So when you learn, then you will be able to lead. But you're not leading as a leader of an institution. You can lead from behind. You can lead from sideways. You can lead from above or below. What it is, your character, your way of doing things is such that people should be able to emulate from you. The industry resources that I can share with you, some of them have been mentioned again. There are a wide range of resources that you can tap into in learning, in developing yourselves. And you can see quite a lot of them. Some of them are, in the different branches of professional surveying. You can find both published and unpublished papers and articles that you can read. But the international development agencies are a very rich source of materials that you can tap from. So the World Bank, the IMF, the UNDP, the World Food Program, and the rest, you can tap them. The seminar, conferences, workshop, networking events are also areas, very useful resources that you can do. And as have been mentioned already, the professional bodies like FIG, CASTLE, ISEC, AFRES, and the rest, they all provide us with a lot of resources that we can take. In this digital world, I think if we want to talk about the tools, we won't leave this place. But what I will just tell you is that word www, very important. Just the www dot this, it's a source of a lot of information. Those in mapping, the drones, those in quantity surveyor, the BIM, and then the MS. What people don't realize is the power of the MS suite of applications, especially programs like Access and the other one, Excel. They can do so many things in terms of analysis. Then there are different applications for measuring valuation, investment analysis, project management, construction cost measurement, and all that. So there is so much that we can. I'm sorry I have overspent my time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Surveyor Mahama. I would want us to do it better for our four resource persons. Thank you. Who are we? Who are you as a surveyor? Who are you? I think when we go home, we should ask ourselves the I factor. Who are you as a surveyor? I'll, I'll be very, I don't know. I'm full of energy now, yes, and I really appreciate Wins for putting this together. Uh, at this time, we would ask for our online participants, if they can hear me, you can either type in your questions or raise your hand and we'll call you, let you ask your questions. We'll give you the platform to ask your questions. If you are here and you also have any question for the four resource person, you can put it together, you ask all at once, and then you get your answers. So, questions, please. You have a question, please. So we have okay. Please give me, you can mention your name and then you follow up with a question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please, my name is Saveya Jimaimamante. I want to find out, I'm a member of Ghana Institution of Surveyors, and maybe there's a colleague, KWS, I'm a KWS. So there's a colleague KWS who isn't a member yet. What benefits or what advantages do I get in my corporate firm? I'm an employee. So what benefits does GHIS probably put on my certificates that I will benefit from, which a colleague surveyor who isn't a member won't get? I don't know if my question is clear enough. How am I getting better payments if I'm being employed as a professional surveyor? Am I getting some work incentives that others who aren't members do not enjoy? I want to find out if there is something the institution puts out for us like that. Come again.
Okay, thank you, Savia Jemima. So, the question is to anyone on the panel. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay.
My name is Sakina Ikukano, a student of Ghana School of Surveying and Mapping. And my question is, how do I become a member if my student membership expires?
Okay, thank you, Sakina.
Surveyor Rules, Kwati, with the QST. I believe that we've all been very inspired, and it was such an insightful panel. And one thing that Surveyor PP said about navigating the profession as a woman, especially with motherly parenting, I would like a few more tips, practical tips, and from any of the panel members as to how we could best navigate the professional dips and hills and parenting as mothers, as women. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we'll allow our resource persons to answer the first three questions. Then we can move on to our online participants. Thank you.
Yeah, I will attempt to answer the question of you being a member of the institution and a colleague in your office not being a member, what advantage you have over the colleague. The first thing is that depending on your establishment, you may have the general rule that for you to move from one step to another, or for you to serve in another position as a supervisor or a manager, you need to become a member of the institution. In that case, that your organization, they are aware of what we, the institution, what we do, the training that we give to our members. And if it's our promotion, if in your contract agreement or in the promotion guidelines of the company, it is stated that for you to move one step, you need to become a member, then officially at that level you are catered for. But for me, it is about you yourself. What difference do you make in the services you provide to the company or your firm, which will give you an edge over that your colleague who is not a member? We talk about code of ethics, reporting time, report writing, how competent you are, lifelong learning, making yourself available for whatever we do here. What has those things impacted in the service delivery in your organization, which will give you an edge over your colleague who hasn't got such services or who has not been made available of whatever things we have said here today, from lifelong learning, from the training we give, and from whatever etiquettes and other advice, honesty, integrity that we've given you here. Has it been able to be seen in your life in the way you take care of yourself at the company or firm that you are? Have they seen that thing in you? Because apart from you being a member, you need to go by the terms and practices of the company for them to see that if you are given such a mandate, you'll be able to deliver. But on the other hand, if you are unjustly being deprived, the institution has a way of engaging, if they are informed officially or unofficially, they have a way of engaging with your firm and you yourself as to how such responsibilities will be given to you. So yes, officially, if it is stated that you need to move to this step before you are a member, you should become a member before you can be given this promotion or to be given this assignment, then you have that edge over your friend. On the other hand, I believe it is you. You have to let it be seen in you. The membership shouldn't be in the certificate or whatever you other colleagues can add on.
One of the other areas we've been fighting at the GHIS level to do is our exposure to a lot of the ministries and then the departments and agencies, quite a lot of them, especially when they have administrators as heads, they do not see the relevance sometimes of the professional divisions that exist within the institution. In fact, even in the universities, we have encountered some where they don't see the value of, say, a professional quantity surveyor or a professional valuer, but they see the value of a lawyer. So it looks like sometimes at an institutional level, we will have to step in to try to draw attention to it. In the case of the universities, for example, we've been able to sort that problem out, where now all professionals within teaching professionals within the universities are treated at par with the academic professionals. So that's one way of dealing with it. So sometimes when you are having this sort of a challenge, draw our attention to it, and then we'll see how to manage it. Sometimes the soft discussions is better than a true boy. Yeah. Yes, the question the student asked, I think if I got your question right, how do I become a member when my student membership expires? Is it it? Uh, Membership of the GHIS actually starts when you finish school. So it is when you have your certificate from school that you apply for the membership. Whilst at the last session of council, what we were discussing was to try to see whether student members of the student members of the institution will be given an advantage, because we wanted to start a scheme where we will be training you in some of the programs that the probationers go through, so that by the time you come out of school, you may have been a little bit far more than your colleagues who were not. So that means that maybe you come out of school, you take a much shorter period to become a member than your colleagues who are not members of the institution. But I think we haven't finished with that type of work. It has come up quite a lot, especially those schools who are far away from Accra and Kumasi, like WA UDS in Tamale, the Sunyani school, there's a university in Sunyani. So they all are now providing surveying courses, and their student membership actually are really eager to have a shorter period of probationship. So we are working on that. It is not yet done, but when you finish school, immediately you can apply for membership, and I think we recognize that during the training program for you. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to try and address the question on motherhood and professional life. So I think it's important that as a woman you realize that there are different phases of your life. And I always advise that you must value the years that you are a mother. Take it as an investment into your children. So you're going to, it's a phase of life. Your young children will grow. When they grow, you have more time on your hand. And that investment is very important. If you don't raise those children properly, you will have a very difficult time getting them on track. So when you raise them well, you spend that time with them, it is an investment. If you see it as an investment, you will not think twice. You will not feel that you are being left out professionally, because there are phases, okay? Not everybody is a mother. When you are blessed to be a mother, be a good one. You understand? Not everybody has children. You are blessed to have children, raise them properly. As for the career, there's so many years after your children grow that you can continue. You understand? But the thing is, getting support. You understand? The professional life is a life as a woman. To do it well, you should build a network of credible support. I'm saying credible because you need people you can really trust. Trust your children with, it's not just your children, sometimes it's a household. Because it's not just, sometimes you don't just stay with only your children. Other people stay with you. So, credible support, okay? So, there are some things that you can get a family member or another, a family friend, a whole family, okay? Not just a friend, but families. Maybe 3 families are support to each other. You get it? So maybe one person from one family will pick up the kids from school or drop them off at school. Another member from the other family does the shopping. But it just creates a support base that makes it possible for you to balance it. But I am pleading with all the women, it is an investment in your children, an investment in the future of our country. Because if you raise properly disciplined and responsible children, they become responsible adults. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just add a little. Now, from my personal experience, I agree with what PP said. When at a point in time, at the time I became honorary secretary, I was a nursing mother. What happened was that it wasn't really my wish, or I didn't plan to become to stand for the position of honorary secretary. Here was I, just as we are saying that service with integrity. Here was I, there was this elderly man who used to come to, I was then at the land's place. The land valuation board, yes. This man would come, I didn't know who he was then. I would serve him, and then it was later that I got to know that he was a past president of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. So, he would engage later on, he would engage in conversations with me here and there. Then one day, he just came and said, I want to nominate you for the position of honorary secretary of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. Hey, I was taken aback. I looked at my circumstances. A nursing mother, working full time. How can I take on board this very involving position as honorary secretary of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors? I didn't give him an answer immediately. So when I went home, I discussed with my husband that this is what this past president is saying. If I don't agree, he would say, well, he wanted to promote me and I declined. If I agree also, what about the home? But my husband encouraged me, go ahead. Because I knew he would give me the support. He had given me the support. And the home support, as my sister said, was good. So I could leave my kids in the care of those who are around me. So I had a very good support system. So I took it up. No, I didn't go out campaigning. What happened was that the other thing is, now it's like, these days, it's like when we are going there, it's automatic. At that time, unfortunately for me, another colleague from another division also applied to be the honorary secretary. So I say, okay, if somebody has applied, I know then I will not be elected. So I relaxed. I just almost forgot about it. This guy went around and campaigned. I didn't campaign because I wasn't keen on taking that position. I didn't want to. Actually, I wasn't too keen. But at the end of the day, I was elected. Oh. So it was a big task for me, combining the full-time job at the Land Valuation Division and then board, not the now division, then board, then a nursing mother, and then an honorary secretary of the Ghana Institution of Surveyors. It was tough, but I was already elected. There was no backing out. I thought it would not happen, but it had happened. So I had to do all that it took to do it and do it very well. Those days we were closing very, very late, sometimes 11 p.m. And these days, it's not these days of a computer, everything longhand. So you come back writing minutes. It's another ordeal. But by the grace of God, I did it so well. At the end of the term, they asked me to go again, and I said, no, my baby has suffered so much. I don't want him to suffer anymore. So it depends on you. Your time management, very, very important. How you organize yourself, how you organize your time, and the support system that are available for you so that your absence in the home for that particular period will not be felt, or so that things will be well organized, whether you are there or not, is very important. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our resource person. So we have 4 questions from our online participants, and I'll read them out. This is from Henrietta. She's saying, can an individual be part of the GHIS without offering quantity surveying as a program in school, but offered a related program such as building technology, and also have a fair knowledge of quantity surveying? The second question from Nabong Basiru. Can I become a member of 2 or more divisions of GHIS? That is, example is, she's BES and you want to take an exam for QS or LS, possibly to enable you get another specialized work promotion. The third one from Albert Kujo. When you join the institution with HND and after some time you have your degree, do you go for another training? And the fourth question is, are there opportunities or professional help for women who have been out of work for a while, as in for maternal reasons, to ease back into the field? Maybe certain jobs that could be reserved for such women to get them back in business. Thank you.
Okay, so I'll take the first question that asks the question on surveying and building technology. So typically, before you are accepted into any of the divisions, there's a criteria that is looked at. First one would be the qualification you have and the content of that qualification. For many years, the course from the department was actually called building technology. It's in recent years that it was changed to surveying and QS, construction economics, right? So, despite the name, we look at the content of the course. If we have what we call core subject areas. So if your course covers the core subject areas, you will be admitted into the division, whichever division it is, because every division has the core subjects that are expected from applicants. So I think that answers the first question. The third one is, technically, if you want to become a member of even the 3 divisions, you have to qualify. You have to be able to demonstrate that you have the qualification and the experience that is required for each of the divisions. But I don't think that as of now we have that situation. But if you do want to apply for both, you have to have the qualifications required. Then I would expect that we could be looked at.
When you are a member of the institution from as a diplomate, you become a technician. So if you want to top up to become a professional member, there is a top-up course that you will have to also undertake. So really, there is a top-up you will have to do to be able to become a member. I think yes. But if you are a technician, and there are 2 ways: either you go for an academic institution course to do the degree, or you come and take up the professional examination the institution organizes. And in each of these ways, there is a process whereby you'll be admitted. So you have the opportunity to upgrade, but you definitely will not be absorbed straightforward. You need to go through some examination of the institution, and probably you pass their professional competence examination by writing reports or coming out of your practical tasks. So it's not a straightforward jacket that I'm a technician and I've done a degree or I've done the professional examination course of the institution to admit me. There are certain requirements that you have to go through. Thank you. And they lose their job. Is there a way we can find the institution, another institution or their company to really absorb them?
Okay, there is this question concerning when as a woman you are off the scene in order to for some time, and you want to take in order to take care of your family, and you want to bounce back, whether there is any help. Um, well, I would advise that whilst you are still managing the home, whilst you are away, at least be associated with a practicing office. You will not go there every day. Once in a while, you can have an arrangement. When you are available, go there and be, going to, it's a volunteer. It's like you are volunteering. It's like an attachment, so that you don't lose your whatever you are trained for. Because if you stay out in the house for a long time, for maybe 4 or 5 years, you want to have all your babies at the stretch, then come back. It's a good plan. There is nothing wrong with it. But I would advise that at the same time, as I said, attach yourself to a practicing office, so that you don't lose completely track completely of your professional life. So that will be easier for you to come back. But if you completely disengage, it will be a bit difficult, but it's okay. You can bounce back. Start, as I said, attach yourself to a practicing firm. Gradually, gradually, gradually. Then you come on board. Then maybe you want to you want to continue in private practice, or you want to apply for a job. You can go ahead. But then the important thing is that whilst you are still in the home, don't lose track of your professional life. Try and continue in a way, however small, so that later on you can build upon that. But if you haven't done so, start all over again. Thank you.
Thank you. So, I personally have some 5 questions, if I may. Okay. My first question has to do with mentorship and help. Surveyor Dr. Fiadebe mentioned support in times of international conferences and presentation of papers. So in times, we young surveyors, if we want to present papers and we need help from our senior surveyors, is there a way we can be mentored to present papers, to write our papers for international conferences such as FIG? And my second question has to do with visibility. Surveyor Duteria mentioned visibility in journals and representation on national boards. Is there a way we can have our own journal or a partition in other journals where we can put out maybe stories or anything that has to do with survey for the country, national or international? And when you also mentioned the surveyors for the courthouses, I wanted to know, as we have state prosecutors, is there a way we can get state licensed surveyors? Because I know that we have a lot of litigation issues in courts, and sometimes it's hard for people to get surveyors. And I know that it's mandatory for a licensed surveyor to testify in court. So if we can have state licensed surveyors, that if you don't have one, they can get one from the state. My fourth question has to do with networking. Surveyor is important. Is it advisable to have your hard copy CV when you're coming for events? Because you know, like if I go for FIG and I want to have my CV and I meet someone talking and I give, is it advisable to give your hard copy CV at event? And my fifth question has to do with, okay, the ANLLL. Surveyor Mahama. Aside training programs, CPDs that we have in the institution, are there any recommended training programs the institution can advise surveyors to go for, or can even have them for surveyors to attend? Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Uh, the- on the question of mentorship for YSN who want to prepare papers for conferences, I think that there are a lot of senior surveyors who really want to do that. I think we have had quite a lot of discussion on this from some of our colleagues in academia and some of us as senior surveyors. During her time as president, she actually started working on a process where we were going to have a mentorship portal in which we could pair up mentees and mentors for training due to some just IT issues. Those things were downplayed. And I think that it is something that will come out eventually. But there are quite a lot of senior ones who are prepared to mentor young surveyors to present these papers. The challenge often comes with a lot of them, you know that the job market in Ghana is very, very small. So a lot of the senior surveyors don't have the wherewithal to be able to sponsor the young surveyors. So they will want, when they mentor them even for such papers, they will also want sponsorship also. So what we may need to do is to expand our sponsorship appeal to agencies and areas that can do that. For those in the big organizations like the Lands Commission, Ghana Water Company, Cocoa Board, Bank of Ghana, and the rest, young surveyors there can benefit from their general policies that when you are doing this, you are also enhancing the image of their organization. So they will sponsor you from there. But it's the private ones which are usually a problem. We will try as much as possible to continue finding ways in which we can help with both the mentoring and also the sponsorship.
The second question is on the surveyor, like the journal I talk about. It is published 2 times a year, and we always request for research papers to be submitted to the institution. There's a committee who evaluate it. And then if yours come out as one of the accepted ones, it will be published in the journal. I think the president is saying during his time to maybe give us some concluding remarks. He may touch on that. And also, at your third question is on CV. The state license surveyors. Alaji, okay. You want to?
Currently, the courts, I think there is an engagement between the current Chief Justice and the institution over how to fast track adjudication of cases. So there is currently a series of committees between the Ghana Institution of Surveyors and then and the Judicial Service, where we are building these frameworks. In fact, one of the things that they have actually asked for is a list of all qualified surveyors across the country, so that when there are cases in different parts of the country, they can just tap on those surveyors to assist. The challenge that they have faced, especially with the court-assisted ADRs, are the issues of remuneration. The judiciary does not have a big budget for that type of service. So you will see that your time is tapped so much to perform that service. And eventually, I understand you drive from your house in Tema and go to the High Court buildings to go and sit for about 4 or 5 hours. And then when you are going back at the end of the month, they give you 100 cities. So it's not attractive, for surveyors to play that role. But in the areas of surveying of boundaries for adjudication of justice, I think it is the disputants who pay. So that one is not too much of a difficulty. What it is a little too early for us, since we haven't come up with a formal committees with the judiciary service. We wouldn't know in full as at now what the form will take. But I think it's a good suggestion to have this sort of a pool of surveyors who will be assisting the courts in doing it. But of course, if they are private surveyors also, they must be paid for their service. We cannot be altruistic all through.
Okay. Your question is it advisable to have a hard copy CV when you're going for a networking event? I don't know, but I would think in this day and age, a soft copy will be much better, because if you hand over a hard copy to somebody, at a networking event, the person may just go and put it home, forget to take to the office, you understand? So you're better off asking for probably an email address to be able to send the CV to. But I guess it won't hurt, but if I look at people and how people are operating now, I would advise that a soft copy may be more advantageous.
Thank you. I would call on our Honorable Secretary, Surveyor Kwame Obin Ejina, who has joined us in our program today. We are very blessed to have him here. We have other esteemed surveyors with us. So I think I'll give Hannah to whom Hannah deserves to give us that.
Thank you very much. The position is honorary secretary. Honorary secretary, not honorable. Honorable is for MPs and assembly members. I esteem PPs and members of WINS and members of GHIS. Good afternoon. I'll just take 1 minute of your time to introduce the ESCO who are currently in our midst. I'll start with the president, Surveyor Dr. Antonia Okweji. And then the vice president, Surveyor Emmanuel Kofi Kobod. The trainees here knows the Emmanuel. They can appear in your interview. Most people know him as Kofi Kobod. And Emmanuel, I'm giving you free gist. Thank you very much.
Thank you, honorary, not honorable secretary. Thank you. I read somewhere the last time that if you want to know where your property line is, who is the best person to ask? Oh, I want you to tell me. If you want to know where your property line is, who is the best person to ask? Anyone? Oh, I have a present too. I have a present for the person who answered this. Yes.
The owner of the property.
I'll eat my chocolates myself. You ask your neighbor. Yes, because if you are buying the land, they tell you it's 100 acres, and then you go just some few feet. You see what your neighbor will tell you. Or you don't agree with me? Ah. Okay, so we have 2 questions in the house, and then we have 1 suggestion online. The suggestion is that we should have presentations, either our CPDs or our programs on our website, and also update our members in good standing on our website. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Daniel from Survey School. And then my question is actually the vice versa of Albert's question. I know of someone who studied land economy and another person who studied geography in the university and then came back to join Survey School. With regard to its membership in GHIS, will the person be registered as an HND holder or a degree holder? And also, does GHIS has a regulatory body that engages students in professional training as at when they are in school? Because I quite remember there is an organization in the Survey School that brought a resource personnel to do drone training, and it's something that you hardly get in the school. And so we want to know if there is anything of that sort, how do we get involved? Thank you.
The second question. I think with the question he asked, he's saying that the degree is the geography and the HND is the Survey School.
You want me to answer it now? The issue is, we've stated it here that the institution, we have rules to enter, either as a technician or a professional member. So whatever degree that you have, that you want to submit to us, we will scrutinize it and then tell you, well, if you are bringing geography and it's not part of the core course of being admitted as a professional member of the Land Surveying Division, you will not, even if it's a PhD. So it's the core courses that we will consider. If you have HND in survey and mapping, you have some 5 core courses that you have satisfied it, but it's HND, so you'll be admitted as a technician. So it depends on, even if you have 2 masters, one in land economy, one in Jumatic, you will decide which one. If you want to join any of them, they will look at the core courses that you have so that they will consider in admitting you. So it is not the institution who will limit you. It is you yourself, the core courses that you've done. If you want to be a quantity surveyor and you have a degree in building technology, submit it. It will be given to the division. They will analyze it and inform you that you are qualified to join. If you have geomatic engineering degree, submit it, or diploma, submit it. So each of the courses have their rules and they consider the core courses. I think this is what I can say for now.
Thank you.
The question about training, that you engage somebody. We are here, but once we've been out of the system for some time, I just want to refer to all of us about the president, that we want to say whether the institution, we organize training for our students. As and when, I think that when we do CPDs and our seminars, students are given a rate, and when they come there, they learn. But if you want specific training, say in drone training in using the drones, you can write to the institution, and if they have some of their members, they can assign them to come and offer you that help. But for now, it is possible, but unless probably you request to the institution and they will ask the division to ask somebody or any of their members to come and offer some assistance to you. I think this is what I can say. Probably if the president speaks, he may highlight on it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Diana. I'm speaking from the LS division. Mine is a suggestion, but not a question. I would like the institution to put up an initiative of writing to some of our notable construction firms, or maybe liaising with them, so that at least our young ones can have a feel or an experience with most of the construction firms, if not limited to only the license of divisions. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any more questions? Do you have any more questions? Okay. So we would like to hear from our president, Surveyor Anthony Akwechi.
Thank you very much, MC. I don't know whether I should give closing remarks or I should just answer. But there are questions that came with respect to the first one I wrote was the journal. I think during the presidency of Surveyor Adutavia, we had some publication. I think since then, we haven't been able to have publication in our journal, but the newsletters, we have been printing them. The main issue with the journal is that we are not getting papers. We are not writing. I'm not writing, and you are not writing. But thankfully, now the committee that is chaired by Professor Nani, they have tried to revive the journal. And I'm sure very soon you will see an edition of the journal published. They've gone very far, tried to reconstitute the board. I'm talking about the editorial board. And I'm sure very soon you will have papers. But all will depend on you. I mean, if you have a journal and you are getting a number of papers, then it means that even the issues will become, the issuance of the journals will become quite frequent. But we don't have the papers. Sometimes people think that they are not in academia, so they cannot also publish. But thankfully, last year, I think there was a CPD LS did, which tried to show how the practicing members can combine with members in the academia so that we can publish. It's important to share our ideas out there, and that's the only way that we can do that. So please, the young guys here, please take advantage of it. Publishing is an art. If you don't start now, you will not be able to do it. You start, but as you grow, then you become used to it and you'll be perfected. That is the remark that I can make on that. The next one was on someone said the calendar and then the program. In fact, what we are doing now, we are compiling all the programs, the CPDs from the divisions, the CPDs from the networks, YSN, and then the governing council one, and then the wings, so that we'll have a composite program. And that composite program will help ESCO and governing council calendar. And at the same time, it will also help you, our members, to be able to track the events. In fact, what happened today, we had a meeting downstairs, and there was a meeting here. And there was a clash of the meeting. But if we had finished making that composite program, I don't think that would have happened. So we want to do that. And I'm sure by the next council meeting, we'll be able to have it. And then we also want to put it on our website so that you can track all the activities that we are doing for the session. The last one was on the training of PP. Since we left, nothing has changed much on that score. Because the students are in school, you cannot interrupt their learning unless they request that they want to have some kind of training. Then in that case, we'll be able to design some kind of training for them. Notwithstanding that, the YSN and council has been visiting them, giving them opportunity to know what is going on in the institution. And almost all our programs are also open to them. They can participate in any of our trainings. So for now, this is what I can say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Surveyor President. We've gotten to the end of our wonderful program. It hurts me that I have to see all these lovely faces go. We would like to acknowledge our WINS coordinator, Surveyor Beatrice Combe. Thank you. We would like to call on Surveyor Jemima Mante to give us the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Indeed, if it hasn't been God on our side, let Israel say. We began the program with a prayer, and God has been so faithful. He's brought us to a perfect and a good end. Our next Thanksgiving goes to our resource personnel for the knowledge they've shared with us. It has been so insightful, and then I, for one, have learned a lot. We are grateful that the knowledge that you have accumulated throughout the years, you have shared this with us freely in this given time space. We are most grateful. Our next Thanksgiving goes to the Governing Council of GHIS for their help and support in coordinating the program and also their presence with us this evening. Our sincere thanks also goes to all members of GHIS, those who joined online, those who are here with us physically. If it hadn't been your presence, the program wouldn't have been possible. We are grateful for your presence. Our last Thanksgiving goes to the WINS coordinator and all past and present executive of WINS for putting this program together. We are grateful for your efforts. We've learned a lot. And it's my earnest prayer that all virtue lost, all productive time lost will be replenished to each and every one in thousandfolds. Thank you and have a good evening.
Once again, good evening. On behalf of ESCO, I would like to thank the past presidents for honoring this invitation and then sharing with us the benefits that our members can get from joining this institution. Fellow surveyors, I'm sure if you want to have any information about the topic, the best persons that you can get are those that have been invited or that were invited to do justice to the topic. And I'm sure we have taken some notes on it. And I will ask that we do a full CPD on this, because looking on our platform and seeing the comments that were coming there, I feel that we may have to get a full CPD on that topic, on this topic. So I'm sure at another time we'll come to your doorsteps again for you to give our members insight of what they can benefit. Because it's a very important topic. Because, for example, the meeting that we just had, the secretariat were asking, some people will call and they will ask, what benefit are we getting from the institution? So it means that it is something that is worrying our members, and we need to let them know. There are opportunities they don't know. Once again, I would say that we are very happy for taking your time to come and speak with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. Indeed, we began with God and we will end with God. Please, the sheet went round. So if you haven't written your name, it will go around again. Can you write your name? It's an attendance sheet. Thank you. I would like to call on Surveyor Kofi Kobo to give us a closing prayer.
Thank you very much. And since I'm standing and I have the mic, I'll be on our feet. So we pray together. Shall we, our Lord and Master, we are grateful for the gift of life. We thank you for bringing us here together. And we are also grateful for the knowledge and the impact that have been shared this evening. We pray that these seeds will fall on fertile soil of our heart. They will bear fruit, and our fruit will remain and bear testimony that indeed today we came, we receive, and we are being productive to ourselves.
Thank you so much. We'll be taking some photographs. Yes, here. So please don't leave. And the students, kindly wait behind. Thank you. Technical team. Technical team. Are you ready? Yeah.